I am later than ever, but that's okay because I am here now. And I'm gonna wait a few minutes to allow some people to come in. We got a good topic today. And it has been so long since I went live. Of course, I have my notebook as well. I'll get started in just a minute. Right, like my glasses, these are not real glasses. They're just something cute to wear, but they're not real glasses. So don't be alarmed. All right, hope you can see me okay. Sometimes my camera sways when it's really close up because I have it on a stand. So today we're talking about foodborne illnesses and outbreaks, and because it's so much that's going on, we of course got to take care of our bodies, and I got some fun stuff toward the end that I'm going to show you what we've been doing. All right, so as you can see, I have my secondary phone. That's what I'm going to be looking down at. And I'm going to give a few more minutes for a few more people to come in. Welcome in, welcome in. It's been a long time. Been a long time. But nevertheless, I'm glad that I am here. So, I don't watch the news, but as I mentioned, this topic is something that my husband and I have been talking about. And because there's so much that's going on with the foodborne illnesses, etc. So we are going to be talking about several different parts. First is going to be the foodborne illness outbreak. Then we're going to talk about the kids returning to school, things that you can do to keep yourself healthy. And how many want to be healthy? I want to be healthy. So I got my sources from the CDC outbreak list, the FDA recalls, and the public health advisories. Those are the sources where I got all of my information. The public health agencies are tracking outbreaks tied to the cyclospora parasite. I'm pretty sure that you guys already know about that or have heard about that in some form of fashion if you're on YouTube or if you're on TikTok. And so there were a few restaurants that were affected by this outbreak. Chipotle is one of them, one of my favorite places to eat. I believe there was Qdoba, Taco Bell, Panera Bread, all of that. All those restaurants were affected by the cyclospora parasite. And then we're going to talk about what is a parasite, because I do believe personally that a lot of the sicknesses and illnesses that we get, it comes from our stomachs. Now, some may argue and say that may not be true, but I believe that, which is the reason why we're supposed to detox. We detox maybe twice a year, my husband and I. So it is important to detox, to clean your body out. It's just like having a car. When you have a car, you have to take the car to get the oil change. You have to make sure, because if you don't put the oil in the car, what happens to the car? Well, the engine locks up and then it shuts down. So everything in our bodies is similar, except we're not cars, but it's similar because we have to make sure that we get in all that old stuff. And just sit and think for just a second about our bodies for just a second. All the meat that we eat, all the snacks that we eat. Sometimes I snack out of control. And when you are snacking and doing all of that stuff and eating meats, well, you have to clean yourself out because all that stuff gets stuck to the inside of your stomach lining, and it causes cancers and everything else. So like I said, I do believe in this year 2026 I spoke about making sure that our bodies remain healthy. There is a lot that's coming on the surface, I believe, this fall and this winter. So this is a topic that we have to kind of talk about, even though you kind of maybe on the fence about it, and it's not fear mongering because I don't believe in doing that. I just believe in educating everybody. So let's talk about a parasite. So a parasite is a living thing that lives on or inside another creature called a host. All right. So think about that for just a second. A parasite, and there are plenty of them. There's different types of parasites, and also some countries have certain parasites that they don't have here. But there is a such thing as cross contamination because most of our food is not grown here. It is grown in other places, so it has to come here to the States. And then once it comes to the States, a lot of the foods that we're eating doesn't have all of the nutrients either when it comes to eating the food. And so some of it is just junk. So that brings us to another topic. So before we do that, like I said, we have everything is going to be under the same umbrella, but there's going to be different parts under the foodborne illnesses, outbreaks, and detoxing, etc. So the active outbreaks, what I read in advisories is the iceberg lettuce. Of course, that's on the news. Frozen blueberries, the ricotta cheese, and jalapeno peppers. So those are all active outbreaks and advisories. Now there are some more. Every day it changes because some states have the outbreak and some states have not gotten the outbreak yet. But as I mentioned to you guys, it is definitely later on in this year, the fall and the winter is going to be something serious. I really, really believe that it's going to be something serious because of everything that's going on. And if you like me, I like to eat out as well as cook at home. But if you're not growing your own food, well, then you're just kind of subject to whatever it is that you eat. So I believe firmly praying over my food, my children too. So before we stick a fork in anything in this house and put it to our mouth, we pray over it first. I even pray over my water. Okay, yeah, that's how serious it is because there's so much. I believe that a lot of the foods that we're eating is being weaponized. I'm not a vegan. Hi, chicken muncher. No, I'm not a vegan. I do eat some meats. The meats that I eat is I do fish. Faithfully, I love fish. I do chicken, of course, and then I also like to eat. I also like to eat turkey. So I am not vegan, but I do like to eat some meats, and a lot of the parasites are in the meats, right? It's a lot of the parasites are in the meats. So even the powdered infant formula, I read somewhere, I believe it was on the FDA recalls, the powdered formula is on that recall list. Isn't that something? So that brings us to our next thing, which is the children returning back to school. And what that means for the children that are returning back to school. Well, when the children return back to school, if there's a lot of recalls in the food that we're eating now and they're going back to school, well, the same places that the restaurants are buying their foods and or receiving their distribution of their foods, that is what the children are going to be eating. So that brings us to a few things. The first thing is the norovirus. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the norovirus. All of this stuff, you can research it at your leisure. It is available again, under the sources, the CDC outbreak list, the FDA recalls, public health advisories, those are the three that you can find this information. But the norovirus is commonly called the stomach flu, and it is actively circulating. So it is actively circulating. What that means is you have to, as a parent, take a look at the things that are the symptoms that are included with this norovirus. So the symptoms are sudden, forceful vomiting, watery diarrhea, nausea and stomach cramps, low-grade fever and headaches, and the exposure is between 12 to 48 hours. So that's the exposure, 12 to 48 hours. So our babies are returning to school. Ours have already started where we live. So the kids have already returned to school. In some places, the kids are returning to school next week. And we have to be on our P's and Q's when it comes to the foods, things that you can do as far as you may be, when my son was attending public school, because he's homeschooled now, you may want to pack their lunch. Also, make sure that you give them lots of vitamin C. The things that they're saying, which is in the salads, I don't believe children, well, some children do. I can't say that because our son, he does like salads and things like that. It's not something he would eat every day because he run to like the easy things to eat, maybe like the chicken nuggets, etc. But pack their lunches. You could pack their lunches. And also I have some little stuff here. Now these, my little guy, we take these faithfully. We take these faithfully. This is Ester C. It's a vitamin C, supports upper respiratory health. This is something that everybody need in their medicine cabinet because vitamin C is something that a lot of the little people don't get much. And it's because if they're a picky eater like my children were, then they're not getting the essentials. And make sure they take their vitamins and just kind of watch a lot of the processed stuff. If you can cook at home, it's probably easier to cook at home instead of eating out so much. But we take these faithfully. This, and then I also, as I mentioned to you before, if you watch my YouTube videos, I take Ollie. Those are supplements, women's supplements that I do take. Our son has his own type of vitamins that he take, and then dad has his own type of vitamins that he take. But that is some of the symptoms that you're gonna have to look for. And again, when your children are going to school, 9 times out of 10, you cannot prevent them from getting sick, because what do little people do? And or if you're in a school environment, what happens is they play together. They may wipe their nose and hold hands. I mean, it's kind of hard to keep them from getting sick, but we have to try. And how we try is make sure they have their vitamins, make sure they have the vitamin C. That's something that we're going to continuously do in our house, because since our son has been homeschooled, he has not gotten a lot of the illnesses and sicknesses, which is a good thing. But if your kids are going to school, it's going to be a little bit difficult if they are attending school. Hi, Allison. Hi there. So, with the children returning to school, heightened risk of gastrointestinal illnesses. That is one of the things that you can look, that you may have to keep an eye on. The tighter school cafeteria surveillance, like they will probably have like a strict hand washing and food handling oversight. So it is going to be a little serious in these winter months. So if you haven't gotten my medicine cabinet, we do have to go back through and add some things into our medicine cabinet. But for the most part, we have everything. I usually don't do a lot of the over-the-counter medications, and that's because I make a tea. So we make a tea every year around the fall and the winter, and we drink that. Maybe not every day, but we will drink it a couple times a week. The tea, and the tea is lemon. So it's a fresh lemon. We cut up lemons. I do the ginger root, cut the ginger root. I actually cut the ginger root and boil it in a pot on the stove. And then once I boil it, I pour it into a container. I add the lemon to the container. And then once I add the lemon to the container, I also do honey. Now, I don't add the honey to the actual container with the ginger root and the lemon because I just don't do it. You can do it, but I just don't do it. Once I pour it in my cup, I then add my honey, because then I can add how much honey I like to add to my own cup, personal cup of our tea. But that's something that we do. So I do still use cough medicine. Now Trey is a little older now. The cough medicine that we were using for him is Zarbee's. Zarbee's is a natural cough medicine, so it doesn't have all of the dye and that icky stuff in it. So that's what I actually do. Now let's talk about the detoxing. So the detoxing, and my husband and I, because I'm always on TikTok, right? And my TikTok shopping cart is extremely full because I find things that are helpful to me and or things that are going viral, and I test it out. Well, we did test out the viral gut cleanse. Now this stuff right here, the 15-day gut cleanse, I don't know if you can see that, but this stuff is really good, and I'll tell you why. Because it has everything that you need in it to clean yourself out. So if you're a person like me, if you are dieting and exercising, now I'm not starving myself, but I am in 2026. I mentioned that I'm going to be dieting and exercising. If you're dieting and exercising, you should probably start with what you're eating, what you're putting in your body. I am still working on that. I'm a work in progress. I do exercise off camera. Don't necessarily see me exercising. Allison, you're really good, girl, with exercising on camera. So that is awesome sauce. But I exercise outside of the camera. I probably need to take you guys with me on some of my walks and stuff and chat and talk. But this 15-day gut cleanse right here is really good. Now, I'm not sponsoring it. I don't get paid to advertise. These are just some things that I have been doing to make sure that my immune health is up to par, because once my tummy and my insides are up to par, then my body will kind of shape. And you're walking now? Oh, great, Allison. You're so sweet. Thank you for stopping by. And so there are 30 capsules. You take 2 a day for 15, well, yeah, 2 a day for 15 days. Is that right? Let me make sure. Yes, it says 1 to 2 capsules. Now, I will say, if you're on TikTok and you saw this actually really works. We have a video on our channel here when we first tried it about a year ago, and this stuff is the business, okay? Now, if you eat meat, whatever you eat, I will just say don't look back. I never have, but I've heard horror stories, trust me. But you typically take them you typically take these before bedtime or at bedtime. And the reason why you take it at bedtime is because it is going to clean you out. And we'll talk about what's in it. It is going to clean you out. And if you're like me, you probably should start with 1. That's what I did when we first started it last year. This is our 2nd time doing it, but you probably should start with 1 just to kind of see how your body reacts to it, and then you take the 2 and just finish them as you go along. But let's talk about some of the ingredients in these capsules. So let me get to suggested for use. All right, let me talk about where are the ingredients? Oh, here they go. Okay. So supplemental facts. This is here if you want to take a look. So the supplemental facts. There is, I believe it's pronounced cascara sagrada bark. That's 300 milligrams. The husk powder. There is the senna leaf, the flaxseed powder, aloe vera leaf gel is from concentrate. Then also you have the licorice root extract that's in there. I mean, it's some really good stuff. And then there's a few things that I cannot pronounce. I am not a health guru, but if you saw the supplemental facts, you can screenshot it and take a look for yourself. But this is the business. And I guarantee you, when you take these, it will allow you to lose a lot of water weight. So if you're a person that, well, let's talk to the women real quick. Let's talk to the women because men are a little bit different from the women. Now, when we have, mine is weight in my tummy. I kind of hold on to the weight in my tummy. A lot of it is waste, but then some of it is water weight. So you are going to lose a lot. Don't fret. It's okay because it's just basically cleaning all that stuff that's been in there. And if you think about it, you have things in your body that have sat and festered and grew and gotten bigger, and we're all swollen. And like I said before, I do believe that a lot of the illnesses are tied to our gut health. Allison said, so it was make you go when you wake up or in the middle of the night? Oh, so that's a good question, Allison. When I was taking them before bedtime, I did not go right away. Mine was the next day. So I believe the reason why you take them at bedtime is so that it gives it time enough to churn and work through your system. I started literally going to the restroom probably about 8 or 9 o'clock. Now, as the days progressed, I would go earlier than that. Go to the restroom maybe in the wee hours of the morning. Yeah, if you take it. And when you take these, please don't just eat anything. I'm telling you, because when you have something that's detoxing your body, it literally can make you sick. So if you're a person that likes to eat junk, I do like to eat junk, I mind you, but I try to eat it in moderation. So my junk looks like Utz chips. I love Utz chips. My children will tell you I love it, and my Canada Dry. But make sure you stay hydrated when you take them, and also limit the junk because it's just gonna make you feel bad. Ice cream is a no-no. Debbie cakes is a no-no. Don't eat that stuff. Just try to eat good. You can still eat some meat, but I always say the clean meat is like the fish, the chicken, stuff like that. The red meat, I would stay away from it. Beef and all that stuff, I would stay away from that. Pork, don't eat that. So I got 2. One for me and one for my husband. So we're starting today, actually, tonight at bedtime. We're starting these. And lots of water. That's right, Allison. Lots and lots and lots of water. So there is a few more things that I have on my little table because I love to do live streams like this to help someone. So you can buy these at the grocery store. You see that? The brand name is Energy. Again, I'm not an ambassador for them. I don't promote their products. Well, I am talking about it, but I don't get paid to talk about it. The 2 flavors that I like, this one is passion fruit, and then this one is pineapple ginger, excuse me. So, these are juice shots. That's what these are. The juice shots, you just take one. They're good for the winter. If you need a little pick-me-up, these are good for the winter. When the cold months come, To my understanding, it's still people are still getting the C-19, as well as the flu. It's flu season. So, all these things that are here. And then you have the foodborne illness outbreak. You have so many different things. So you just have to kind of monitor what you eat. It will probably make you feel like, that's just a whole lot. It's just too much and it's extra. But you're going to have to monitor what you eat. And if you can, cook some at home. Now you see videos where we're eating out, but we don't eat out all the time. I do cook. I like to cook. We do eat out occasionally, but it can get expensive. And so we covered the immune health. The next thing is a garden. Now I told you guys earlier in the year that I was going to start my garden. I have all the tools and all the plants and stuff. I just have not physically started the garden. Well, seeing things like this pushes you to that aspect to just start. Sometimes you can get, I'm a perfectionist with whatever it is that I do. And so I have to have this space right. I got to have that. And my husband's like, babe, just start your garden. You said you want to start your garden. Just start your garden. You have all the stuff to start the garden. And the kids are looking like, well, mommy, you got all the stuff. When are you going to plant it? So I will be sharing a video with my little garden. I am so proud of myself because it's a big step to do that. I'll be talking about some of the things that I plant, have in my garden, which will be tomatoes, bell peppers, etc., things like that. And then you also, when you start a garden, I like to research a lot. Just make sure that you look at the type of plants that you're planting together, because some plants don't do well with other plants and you don't want to mix them. So you may want to just start with having the same plants in one. For instance, if you want to do spices, and your spices might not do well with watermelon, or if you want to do potatoes and then you also want to do collards. So you just got to kind of see what plants will work well with others, because I'm telling you, if you have not started a garden, you can start today. Now me, I did not start with a seed. And the reason why is because I don't think that I have a green thumb. So because I don't have a green thumb, they do have plants that you can get that have already started to grow. So that's a good idea. You just got to make sure you take them out of the pot, or make sure you pay attention to repotting the plants so that they can have room for the roots to flourish and grow. But yes, if you have not been in that space to do a garden, now is the time to do your garden. As I mentioned, with everything that's going on right now with the food, I do believe that the food is being weaponized. I do believe that there are things happening in high places that is going to cause an uproar, which is why I'm speaking about making sure that you take care of yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. You got to have it all. Take care of yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. So in order for you to win a fight, you have to first start with your health. And I think that for me, it was an eye-opener. It had been, like I mentioned, I have been talking about starting my garden and talking about the different things that's to come. Well, it's hastening. The things that are happening right now is definitely hastening. So you don't want to be caught in a place where you are not prepared. So if you're a person, like I said, if you get some meds, make sure you stock up on that. I'll probably do another video in regards to that where you can order your hi there, sweet hot cocoa. um I don't know why it's not showing up here. Give me just a second. I'm looking here on my extra phone, but hi there. Yes. So make sure you take care of your immune health. That's essentially what this live stream was about. Take care of your immune support. And I mentioned I take the Ollie vitamins. Those are, again, we can eat as healthy as we want, but let's just be real for 1 second. It doesn't matter what you're eating, because once the food comes here from how it's being transported here, it loses its nutritional value. And because it loses its nutritional value, you need something to supplement it, right? And so that's the reason why I do the multivitamin. My friend here, Sweet Hot Cocoa, she actually does black seed oil and things like that. She's very good as far as taking care of herself, being healthy, and supplements and things like that. So maybe she can put some things in the chat for us. Allison said, I was thinking about that because there is so many recalls on, like, oh my gosh, I need to grow my own things. That way I wouldn't have to worry. That's true. That's the reason why I shared with you that my grandmother passed away a little over a year ago, and that was the last thing that her and I talked about, was a garden. And I said to her, I said, well, Granny, I don't know where to start. She said, Google it. She said, Google it. And I'm like, what do you know about Google? But she did mention that if something were to happen in this, hi there, brother. Hi there. She did mention that if something were to happen that was detrimental, as far as what's happening now with the foodborne illnesses and the recalls, that the new generation, which she was talking about me, she said you wouldn't be able to survive, because I need you to learn to live off the land. It's evident, you know? It's evident. We have to. And like I said, I'm not a person, I don't consider myself as having a green thumb. I didn't start my plants with a seed because I haven't gotten there yet. But I'm learning as I go. I'm learning how to care for my my plants, learning how to care for them, and like I mentioned with the different foods, so you don't want to put certain foods when you're planting them together because they may not do well. Now I know that strawberries is very hard. I tried to do that about 2 years ago. I tried to grow strawberries. The strawberries did not do well at all. It started to bloom and I was so proud of it, and then it got some kind of infection. I'm not sure what happened to it, and I was so hurt. Also, plant bugs. So you gotta prune your plants and check on your plants and treat them like your babies. And honestly, I'm learning that I'm learning that talking to your plants, it helps them grow. I'm learning that is. Can you guys see Sweet Hot Cocoa's message? Because I can see it when I'm looking down at my extra phone, but I don't see it as I'm looking on the screen. So I'm not sure what's happening with YouTube. They are so messy sometimes, but I can see it. Oh, you can see it? Okay, got it. Okay, got it. So maybe the YouTube is just being messy with me. And so that's kind of all the stuff I had to show. So one of the things I showed earlier was the ester C, the immune support. These are good. This one I have not opened yet. So let me open them and show you how big these pills are. Now, I'll tell you one thing. I do not like taking pills. Come here, baby. Can you do mommy a favor? Can you open this for mommy? I'm going to get my big boy to open it for me. Can you open this for mommy so that I can show them what these these vitamin C pills tablets look like. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. And now you can get any brand of shots that you like to take. They're juice shots. They're packed with so much stuff. I'm telling you, I can take one of these and man, I can go all day long. I can take care of any errand that I need to take care of. And I don't normally get sick. The reason why I don't get sick is because, like I mentioned, I do my teas every year. So around the fall and around the winter, I do my teas and we don't get sick. Like this has B6 and B12 in it. It's 100%. Can you see it? Probably see these nails. I need to get them done. And then the pineapple ginger. Ooh. And Energy is a good brand. There's another one I can't think of in the grocery store. That's a good brand too, but I will probably put it in the description. Now this is what the vitamin C pills look like.
They smell like cinnamon for some reason.
This is what they look like. Look at how big these are. Now I don't like to take pills. I usually try to, these are also vegetarian coated. Come here, my love. They're vegetarian coated, so that's good. It doesn't have the, yeah, well, my little guy. Here, take the plastic off that for me so that I can close it right. Yeah, it's not closing for some reason. But those are vegetarian coated, so they're good. And then I'm going to show you what these look like. The 15-day gut cleanse. This is on TikTok, and I'll probably put a link in the description for these too. Thank you, my love.
You're welcome.
I'll probably put a link in the description for these as well, because I'm telling you, I mean, if you're already detoxing and doing what you're doing, good for you, because we have to do the detoxing. Because guys, the stuff that we're eating, that stuff just sticks and it stays. It stick and stay. So we need to be rid of all of that. Here, baby. You wanna do this one too? Yeah, I'm getting, no. I'm opening these. And another thing, if you buying something and if it's not sealed, return to sender it goes. Because it's too much stuff that's happening right now for you to buy things with broken seals. I know you guys know that, but I'm just saying. Here you go. Has a little cotton in there. And this is what the pills look like. Now, I don't think that these are vegetarian coated, but that's what these look like. And when you're starting, you can do 1 at bedtime or do 2 at bedtime. And you're supposed to take 2 every day for 15 days. I think I dropped my top. Hang on 1 second. That's just some of the things, like I said before, that we have to do to take care of ourselves and make sure that we maintain good health, because a lot of stuff that's coming, we're not going to be able to avoid it, obviously, but you can do what you're able to do to make sure that you stay healthy. So if you're just coming in, I'm going to recap on some of the stuff that we were talking about, because I covered a lot. So the sources of the information that I've gotten, it's from the CDC outbreak list, the FDA recalls, and then the last one is the public health advisories. So we started the topic off with the foodborne illnesses and outbreaks. That's what we were talking about. And the public health agencies are tracking outbreaks tied to the cyclospora parasite. We talked about that. There's a lot of restaurants. Now, I mentioned maybe 4 or 5 of them here. Taco Bell, Qdoba, Chipotle, my favorite, Panera Bread. I love me some Panera, guys. I had Panera today. I love Panera. But in all honesty, because of all of the stuff that's going on, you just got to pray over your food. I mean, you can't really avoid it. Pray over your food and start your own garden. So when you are starting your garden, you know what's in your food. You know how much of it you want to intake, how much you don't. I mean, it's just, that is the way. If you have been for these past couple of years saying, I need to start a garden. Just get out there, get you some dirt. Mine is going to be a raised garden. It is a raised garden because I purchased some crates from Dollar Tree. I got some extra crates too, so hang on one second. Hey Trey, can you bring mommy the crates? I'm gonna show you what the crates look like. And I basically got them from Dollar Tree. You can put some, maybe like some newspaper or something on the bottom, inside of them, or something to make sure that they don't, the dirt doesn't fall out of it. And put, yeah, so I have lots of crates. Okay, you can sit them here, baby. All right, thank you, baby. I did a YouTube video when I was shopping for crates, but these are the crates from Dollar Tree. This is what the crates look like, and of course you see the holes there. Now I've seen people use baskets, just regular baskets that you can pick up from the Walmart or something like that, but these were probably $1.49 for these crates. But I bought these and I got different sizes, and you just put something on the bottom of them and you put your dirt on top of it, and then you put your plants in there. Now this could take 2 plants. I probably wouldn't do more than 2 in it because you don't want them to be crowded. You want them to be free where they can grow. And I got another size also. And again, this is just, I mean, I didn't spend a lot of money for this. So the other size are these crates right here. This one is a medium. I'll say this is a medium crate. Now you probably can do, it depends on the plants. It depends on what you're planting, because again, you want to make sure that they can grow and they're not crowded. But maybe 2 plants in here, or 4 plants in this one. And then I got another size. So this is, like I said, a raised garden. So this one is bigger. This one is huge. But you see that? It's really big. And all of these came from Dollar Tree. Now, I believe that the crates are seasonal, so that they probably won't have them for long, but I got them on arts and crafts. Yep, I got them in the arts and crafts aisle. Uh-oh, my goodness. I'm knocking you guys all over the place. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But yes, so again, I didn't spend a whole lot of money. I just bought them from Dollar Tree. So I got my little crates and I have them lined up where in the backyard area, and I just put my my plants in there. And so good stuff, right? Good stuff. All of this stuff are life essentials, things that you're gonna need. Everybody's gonna need their own garden, because if you think about it, what happens if if the stores shut down? Like, that's a real question. If the stores shut down and we are, for whatever reason, a catastrophe happens, we can't go to the store, we can't buy food. Well, we're gonna have to be able to have our own garden, have our own food. You know, I really believe that. I'm telling you, I'm on social media on and off. I need to start posting like I should be posting, but a lot of things I'm not on social media because there's so much out there, and I try to, will have to protect my peace of mind because it's so much. And the Lord will start downloading things in your mind, and you don't have to be a person that knows the Bible from front to back. You don't have to be a person that's a pastor or a prophet or any of those things. The Lord talks to us all. And one time or another, he may have said, hey, you know, let me just, I may need to get my garden started, or, you know, I may need to buy a little extra food, or, you know, I may need to stop splurging so much with the money and just kind of hold on a little bit to a few things. We also have a This is not on topic, but just talking about life essential things. We also have a safe. And we have in our safe we have our essential documentations and stuff, like uh, maybe have like some money in there, or have your passports, have all of your personal things, because I'm telling you, one day we might have to get up out of here. And when we do, you gotta have all your stuff there. I mean, everything in one place. And you ever notice back in the day, the older generation would keep cash? They would keep cash flow. Um, Maybe under their mattress, or they may kept it somewhere in a secret place in their house. You kind of get what I'm saying? So I do believe that the time is coming. I do believe that we do, some way or another, have to start somewhere and start preparing for what's coming, because you don't want to get to a place and you haven't started preparing yourself for what's coming. I mean, if you really take a step back and look at what's being displayed on social media, people are in fact planning. People are in fact starting their gardens. People are in fact buying a little extra food. People are putting aside a little bit of extra money, even if it's just a couple $100. Put it away for a rainy day. At least you have something. You can put some gas in your car. You can get you something to eat, feed your family. So I like I said, I wasn't going to be before you long, but I did want to touch on some things that I felt was necessary, right, in order to survive what's happening and what's getting ready to come, because I don't believe that everything is happening all at one time. It will happen over time. So the children going back to school, make sure your babies have their vitamins. If you can pack their lunches, cook at home, make sandwiches, or whatever you got to do. Keep their little immune systems healthy. Like I mentioned, I will probably do another live stream on prepping. We have been prepping, sorta, a little bit. And it doesn't take a whole lot of money to do that. You can start very small. I mentioned, we buy the little bags of rice and we keep them here. And then also, I'll go into depth with some of the food where you can kind of tell a difference. And what I mean by that is you can tell what foods are fake and what foods are essential, what foods you need to be eating, what you probably shouldn't be eating. One of which I saw on TikTok. I'm on there in and out, in and out. I'm on TikTok to shop specifically and to catch up on the news, the things that are happening, because a lot of it is not on the news outlets. So I can almost for certain get information from TikTok. But there was videos circling around TikTok about the bread that we're eating, and how what bread is supposed to do when it's underwater. Meaning you have the bread, you run it underwater. If it breaks apart, it's real bread. But if it's like a sponge, it's not real bread. There were videos about the rice that we're eating. Yes, I'm telling you guys, it can be exhausting. So much information right at our thumbs, And so as I mentioned, I wanted to share this information with you so that you can detox, so that you can clean your bodies out, so that you can be the healthiest version of you. That's why we had this live stream. So I kind of went over everything. It looks like we had a lot of people starting out, and as the time went on, some faded, but I know there are going to be rewatchers for this live stream, and hopefully you'll share it with a family member. Sometimes you may not have to post it on your YouTube channel. It just may say, hey, you know what? This may be something you're interested in, and share it with somebody that you text today. Share the link with someone that you text today, because it might be something that they may be interested in. But yes, we have to pray. And also, while we are praying, we have to make sure that we are staying aware of things that are being talked about in some of the media outlets. I don't watch the news all the time, but I know that, of course, every time we turn the news on, it's always something bad. And what I glean from it is, okay, we're talking about this food outbreak, the foodborne illnesses and these outbreaks and stuff. That was my cue to say, okay, so I need to get busy exercising, get busy, making sure I eat more at home versus eating out. As I mentioned, the garden, the detoxing, all of that stuff kind of mesh together. It kind of meshes together. So I won't hold you long. It's been so long since I went live. It has been very hard. It's been very hard to go live because I am extremely busy. I'm always working, just like you guys are too. And it's just a matter of turning on the camera, scheduling a live stream, and just do it like Nike. Just do it. So I hope you enjoyed the live stream. Like I said, I wanted to do, it wasn't going to be before you long. I think I'm at about 51 minutes. That's what it looks like. Yeah. So I will hang around a little longer. I kind of went over all of my notes that I had. And don't send your babies to school sick. That's another thing. Don't you, as a parent, hate when we send our children to school, they come back with some kind of stomach bug, flu, etc.? Because people are just sending the babies to school sick. Do I see you guys? I can.
Hey, Mom. Sorry it takes so long to get back to you. I've been running. I'm trying to figure out how to make it work on the 19th with a bunch of other stuff I got going on. Um, that's what took me so long, and I've been running back and forth from work. Well, no, they get ready to. It's something coming along. It's a growth period. I won't be doing this too much longer. Um, Trying to figure out how can I help out with the 19th, and I do need to sit down and talk to the wife. Our schedule's been off today. She's doing something else, and I wasn't in the house. Um, I just didn't. I'm sorry about making you having you wait so long. Yeah. So. I don't know why you always stress everything. What's wrong with you? Nothing. Nothing. Just working on some other stuff too. That's all.